It's good to see you again. Pull up a chair by the hearth.
You know, I really considered Syndragosa here, because Syndragosa is pretty good, but Lich baz'hial actually has more versatility in the way that you play her. I like that the coins can be used whenever you choose to use them, whereas Syndragosa is only good in really the early game. And you can use the coins to help yourself in the early game, help yourself in the mid game, or even help yourself in the late game if you want to tier up and get to level 5 or 6. So you'll see throughout the match that I do that. I use the coins in different ways. For instance, in this early turn, I actually used the coin to tempo myself out to get ahead. I almost leveled up, but I just thought that the board looked too good not to tempo. And right now the meta is pretty tempo oriented. So you see that I use the coin here for tempo, but I will use it later for other things such as leveling or just grabbing an extra minion that I think is really good for the board. You notice here I opt to put my minions in a position of having them at 3 attack each rather than a 2 attack and a 4 attack minion. Somebody told me recently that in the early game 3 attack minions are better, so that's why I did that. Someone else told me recently that it's really important to try to get to tier 5 as soon as you can, but what I really try to do is pay attention to what tiers the lobby people are at. So I did opt to use a coin here to level to tier 3 just to stay with everybody else. You know, I'm typically looking for Cobalt Guardians and mech comps when I play, but sometimes you just don't get it, and so I realized here that I did have somewhat of a menagerie going, and so I just started grabbing the best minions for tempo and stats on the board, and then I started just grabbing buffs and menagerie type minions to get my board stronger and stronger throughout this match. One thing you do notice here is that I don't opt to use the hero power to tap for another gold coin, and that's just because when you start to get into the late game, you can take 20 damage in like 1 or 2 turns depending on if someone has dragons or not, and so I just decided I'm done getting coins and hopefully I'll have enough coins for the end game. So when you get into the late game is when you really wanted to start deciding what your final comp's going to look like. And here is where I really commit to the full Menagerie. I grabbed the Battlemaster because I was at 3 HP, and there was a guy earlier who had Jugglers. Battlemaster is so good against Jugglers. So I just wanted to add a demon to the board for the Lightfang to buff. And I pretty much have almost everything except a dragon here getting buffs. And so I've committed fully to the Menagerie. We'll see, I'll just continue to buff the board in different ways until the final game. I would like to note here that going into the final battle, when you know it's pretty much life or death, I was considering getting rid of the Lightfang in favor of buffing my demons, and I'm not sure if that was honestly better or not, because it did buff the Murloc and the Mech and the Beast as well, so Lightfang probably was better, but the demon buffs could have been really good to get the Battle Masters even stronger.